It is impossible to live with a narcissist, to deal with them on a continuous basis and expect to live a peaceful life. No matter how educated you are about narcissism or how stoic you may think you are, they are going to find a way to emotionally and psychologically batter you. Why? Well, it is the nature of the beast. You cannot think of sleeping in the middle of a freeway or a highway and expect not to be run over by a vehicle. You will get hurt because it's the nature of that environment. The same way, you cannot think of yourself to be the strongest person, which you may be, and not get hurt by the toxicity because they are a living, breathing, a walking disorder. And their toxicity sooner or later is going to permeate the layers and reach your mind and body, leaving you completely distraught. All of this was proven to me in one of my recent experiences with my full-time help. I am Danish, a narcissistic abuse recovery professional, and today I am going to share my personal experiences with you. I'm going to talk about one of my recent experiences with a covert narcissist whom I had to fire because I couldn't deal with it. Despite all the knowledge that I share with you, all the strategies that I talk about, it was becoming impossible, a big headache. Before we get started with the story and I share all this exciting stuff with you, I want you to know that I'm running a Black Friday offer in which I'm offering 4 of my best-selling courses at a discounted price. If you want to take advantage of this opportunity and if you would like to get instant access to these courses, click the I button above or the link in the description of this episode. 2 years back, I hired a person because I needed help with household activities, cooking, cleaning, laundry, and that kind of basic stuff. I paid them 3 times more because I genuinely wanted to help and I wanted to contribute in whatever way possible. In the beginning, this person seemed to be a very decent person, okay? They were pretending to be kind and I felt it. But I was like, okay, I do not need to have a personal relationship with them. I'm okay with whatever it is and I just need this work to be done. But then they slowly started throwing tantrums. The devaluation did not begin right away. Whenever I would try her holding accountable or say no to something or say this is not how I want it to be done or you need to improve your cooking skills because you are burning food, she would really make faces or give me silent treatment or stonewall. I would ignore it, unfazed, unmoved. I would say it does not define me as a person. I've been through this. It feels like I'm dealing with my covert narcissistic mother. But whatever. Let me ignore it. I just need my things to be done. I ignored my changing emotional state, but I kept my distance and kept it quite professional. So this was a full-time person, which meant I had to experience this whole thing at least for 7 to 8 hours a day. Sometimes they would be really happy, quite chatty, bubbly, like my mother, when things would be working in their favor. And then that would give me a little bit of cognitive dissonance. Oh, see, they are fine now. They are great. Maybe this can be maintained if I, let's say, help her a little bit more, or if I take into consideration the fact that she has recently lost her son. Because that's what I thought about. Maybe it has nothing to do with me. Maybe she gets triggered and then the grief takes over her. Why did I think it was grief? Because she would cry every time I would try to hold her accountable. She would cry her eyes out, which I always perceived as an unnecessary reaction because all I tried to do was correct them or requested that I need this thing to be done that way because that's how I like it. Anyways, long story short, after many chances and high highs and low lows, it really felt like I was in a relationship of some sort. I came to this conclusion: I cannot tolerate it anymore, and I do not need to because I can pay somebody else. I was feeling bad for her. To be honest with you, I did not want to take away her employment, but I had to. She was impacting my mental state, and I had to acknowledge it to myself. The last episode was when I ran a minor inspection. I checked my kitchen, the groceries, and everything else, and I found it was infested with bugs. All she does during a day is she cooks, washes some stuff, and then watches television. I do not have a problem with that. I do not want her to be running all the time, but you have to do the basics. Keep the kitchen clean, for God's sake. Clean the refrigerator. You are the person in charge. I gave you all the authority. When I ran that inspection, I found everything to be infested by worms, by roaches, ants, and I had to throw everything out. I simply asked her, "What is this?" And then some utensils were missing, some cups and jars. I asked her, "Where are they?" Because you're the person in charge. I trust you fully. I do not intervene a lot because I believe you are here doing all of this stuff, taking care of the things on my behalf. But I was proven wrong. She did not care of anything at all, and she took my silence as a permission to continue abusing me and my resources. Everything was delivered at doorstep. She didn't have to go out. She didn't have to buy stuff. She just had to organize things. And guess what? Upon holding her accountable, instead of accepting her mistakes and promising to improve, she threw a big tantrum. She didn't get angry. No, she started crying. Oh my goodness. And that crying episode did not stop for 5 damn hours. I was still unmoved. I didn't care. And it was a big, big improvement. I was like, oh wow, it's like my mother. I've dealt with it. Who are you? Who are you trying to impact? I've already survived it for so many years. It doesn't matter, and I am able to see through your actions. It didn't stop with crying. She then moved on to giving us silent treatment, all the family members. Would you believe that? Silent treatment and stonewall us. She stopped eating and she stopped working around, and she was sitting there waiting for us to beg her to forgive us and all that. I didn't do that, but I was taking my notes. And my inner empath was saying, nope, this is it. I'm not ready to deal with this anymore. Why do I need to? And this is not the first time she did it. She has done it so many times, and every time I forgave her. But this time, she crossed all the levels. Instead of making things better, she made it about herself, her ego, and that vulnerable narcissistic self came out, that grandiose self, which expects me to give her all the allowances and not hold her accountable, never say no. I just asked, what is going on? Because there were no answers, she knew how to emotionally manipulate me. But I did not let her overpower my judgment. Today, when I woke up, my intuition was screaming, get her out of this house. She is a big ball of toxic energy, and you do not need that anymore. It's impacting your healing journey, and I decided to fire her. There's a big lesson to be learned here. You may have mastered narcissism and may know the ins and outs of it, but you still cannot deal with a narcissist. You cannot assume that, oh, I can deal with their aggressions. Oh, I can deal with those high highs and low lows. No, you won't be able to do it because you are a normal human being, and normal people get impacted. That's not your weakness. That's who you are. They just love chaos, but chaos destroys you. It chips away at your life force, and you're left feeling drained. Let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know if you have experienced something similar in the comments below. With that, let's bring this episode to an end. Thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.